Oh, your handwriting is good too. How about this? Come over here. What about this? What about the floor? Rosie Slay.
That's what they called me in college. Kidding, they didn't call me that in college.
I dropped out of school.
You're
Look
doing
at me.
things
I'm
that
a streamer.
That's true. If you were going a different path, I don't think you would have been able to do half of all the stuff that you've accomplished as a VTuber. This is a very unique, strange career. If you went the other way, it would have been very normal. Like, normal, understandable.
Wonder if I would have found it boring.
Good question.
Would I even be happy? I don't know. I think about how different my life is now, and I think about how happy I am, and then I think about, did I really want to do those things before? Or did I just do them because I thought I wanted to do them?
Doing lots of things. I don't think it would have been so diverse. I think it would have been...
I don't know if I would have been happy. I think I would have been happy at first, and then I would have gotten bored and unhappy.
I mean, yeah, this is great because you can always do something new. You can invent things. We invented what we want to do because we're blessed with amazing communities. You don't have to be bored. We get to be creative. Think about people you've been able to help, too.
I don't think I would have been able to help people doing the other stuff.
Yeah, it's a very specific community, too, of, like, music appreciators. And with us, it's very diverse. Like, they can be anime fans, streamer fans, or they were on Reddit and they saw a really weird meme. And, like, the reach is much, much bigger. And so more opportunity. How does it feel to make so many people proud, you nerd? Cry.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, I was going through like TikTok and YouTube and shit, and I was looking at like comments that people have left, which I try not to do much because a lot of times they're really fucked up. Somebody mentioned in a video, I thought this bitch was bedridden or whatever the fuck, you know? In my mind, I was like, not anymore. And then I was thinking about, it just made me think. And then yesterday, like while I was doing my things, and I was like, in front of my mirror in my bathroom, like brushing my teeth and like brushing my hair, brushing my teeth, like doing personal hygiene in front of the bathroom, standing. And I'm like, 7 years ago, I could not do this. 7 years ago...
Standing?
Yeah, 7 years ago, I could not stand in front of a mirror and do basic hygiene in front of a mirror. I was like in bed all the time.
A walker to go to the bathroom?
Well, when I first started VTubing, like, I wasn't even able to use my walker at first. Like, I was still, like, in a wheelchair, and I was in bed, like, all the time. And I could barely, like, lift my head off my pillow and shit. Like, I couldn't even sit up in bed. Like, I would stream laying down. Like, I could actually sit now.
Every time?
Yeah, I would stream laying down when I first started streaming. I, like, had a lap desk, and I had a laptop on my bed, and I would stream laying down from bed. And then I was just thinking, because I was thinking about that comment, and I'm like, man, it has taken me 7 years to get to this point. Like, my whole VTubing journey has been me relearning how to be a human. And at the same time, being a VTuber and, like, growing as a VTuber and doing all this, like, creative stuff. But for the most part, VTubing, like, has taught me and has helped me become a human being again. And now it's like, now I could, like, walk around my house, and I don't really need my walker much. I still use it sometimes, but I can walk really slowly around places. I can shuffle around. I've been using my treadmill. I can walk to the bathroom and, like, get my stuff done. I can take showers by myself. It's taken me 7 years to get to this point. And it's like, it was something that I never thought I could ever reach or attain. Something that I just never thought that I would be able to do. You know, the VTubing started taking off, and then I was like, well, maybe I could start dreaming about doing those things. And now it's here, and it's happening. And it's been a lot of hard work. And I think, and when I read comments like that, I'm like, man, these are people that, like, they probably just saw, like, an old-ass clip of me talking about stuff, but don't know how much I've worked to get to this point, and how I'm not going through that shit anymore. I'm going through other stuff, and I have, like, I'm still, like, sick and I'm still me, but it's like a different life now. It's like a completely different life from how I was living 7 years ago. If you think about it, it doesn't feel like we met in 2020, and it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It still feels like it was yesterday, but it really was quite some time ago. it's gonna be 5 years.
So much has happened. So much, just so much life.
I'm just telling you, I'll never forget that day that we were talking and you were like, straight up told me you wanted to take care of me. That really like got to me. I was like, no one's ever told me that in my life. And that's when you asked me to join me shoujo. And I was hesitant, but then I was like, you know what? Why the fuck not? I was scared, but I did it.
I too. I mean, cause I was like I was doing a lot of math with the team and stuff. Cause we were figuring out money. Cause when I started, I had -$5. We were trying to figure it out how to like allocate funds and stuff, and like also looking at like private jets and stuff, like how much that would cost for like if you needed to be flown to like Colorado. Because I remember like you were so sick, and so it's just like looking into like, well, who's doing the immune stuff? Is it the MIT? Like, just like all this research and planning and like how to. Yeah, the goal was to figure out how you could afford all of your medicine. Like we really. Now you can.
Now I can. I still remember that day that you helped me like research the projectors so that I could have like a window in my room. Because I didn't have a window in my room when I lived in my old place.
Went to all these different furniture places that had like new like concepts. Like I went into like the city in like a town nearby looking at all these different options and stuff. It was just kind of expensive, but projector made a lot of sense. Cause dude, the fact that you're like you don't have a light. I'm like, what do you mean? You're like over time, like I don't have windows. I'm like, how do you not have windows? And you're like, over time, just more and more boxes and more machinery. I don't know, it's been like 7 years since they kept piling it up and people can't come in here, so all the lights are gone.
That's true. I didn't have shit. There was no lights, there was nothing. I was just full of garbage, full of machines and stuff. And now I have my own place and that's not a problem.
I mean, you basically were living in like a mechanic garage type. Like you didn't have lamp. You didn't have lamp.
I didn't even have a lamp.
You didn't have a fucking lamp, and you couldn't sit up all the way. And whenever you went to go pee, it took an hour. And like everything.
It's true. Yo, window now? Yeah. Oh my god, my house is full of windows.
When you said I have windows now, I cried my face off. It was disgusting.
I found a place with so many windows. I'm like, I want that one because it has a lot of windows in a safe neighborhood.
Oh god. I want you to have a pool that your sister can swim in, and you can watch her swim. It'll be just so whatever normal is. I mean, yeah. When I was telling my friend like about the Peloton, they're like, Mouse has a magazine for Peloton? Like, no, like like a monthly subscription? No, like literally like a treadmill thing. Like how?
Yeah, I finally got one, bro. I can't believe I always wanted one and I got one.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I haven't been able to use it as much this week because I was sick, but when I'm not sick, I use it and it's great. And I'm not like running or anything. I'm just walking on it, but still, it's like, when the hell did I ever think I would ever be able to walk on a fucking Peloton?
Or just walking?
Or just like walking. Or just walking around. I literally thought I wouldn't be ever able to walk around and just stroll around my place. Just have a stroll, you know? Go to the living room. Go to my mom's room. Go to walk around my room.
You see your family so much more now.
It's true.
One time you're like, you haven't seen your parents in like what, like 2 years or something?
It took me, it was like, I saw my parents, it was like months. And we would just like call on the phone. And then my nurse would come. And my parents would be like very minimal, you know what I mean? And then we would go so long without like seeing each other. My siblings, it was a long time for me to see them. I didn't see my brother in like 4 years, my sister in like 2 years. Like they couldn't come visit me at all. But
were they in the house?
No. They were in their own places, very far away. But
still get sick whenever you see anyone, but sorry.
Yeah, it was tough, man. Like but when I say like minimal contact with my parents, I'm talking like I couldn't really hug them. It would just be like if they had to like talk to me about something or it was just a lot. But now it's easier.
That's really interesting that you said though that you wonder if you would have been happy going that other direction.
I think about that sometimes. What if I didn't have this problem, and what if I was this, and what if that, and what if this happened, and the more I think about it now, sometimes I wonder if I even would have been happy if I would have had, because I always thought that was my dream and that was the life that I wanted to live. And when I would always think about it, I'd be like, man, I wish that could have been my life. But then now living this life, now I'm like, and how like happy it makes me and how like many things I get to do. Now I think about, would I even have been happy if I would have done all that other stuff that I wanted to do? I don't know. It would be very limiting, I think.
I think you're too crazy about life. You want to do a lot of things.
I do. I'm just not good at like sticking to one thing. I love doing a lot of things at one time. I like being busy because I know what it's like to not do anything at all. I know what it's like to just be existing, and I don't want to just exist. I want to live and experience life and savor life.
Oh my god, I have so much comparison in my brain of like just so many sad things, which it's interesting because they are not here anymore. So to inspire. I just remember you saying like, oh, I'm gonna be really tired or really sick that day. I remember you said that. I'm like, you're planning when you're going to be sick? Yeah, you're like, well, I have a choice. Like, I get some reds or some blues or some yellows. I can't get all of them, though.
I was just always sick all the time, and then I just knew when it was going to be really bad.
Choose. It's just expensive.
And it was and it was just like, I couldn't afford everything that I needed to have. So I just had to basically be like, so do I want to feel like shit like this, or do I want to feel like shit like this? Pick one.
Like, oh, it's Monday. Do you want eyesight, or how much breathing would you like that week?
Do you want to breathe, or do you want to... You want to stop vomiting or no?
Moderate vomiting? That's not heavy. Hell yeah, sign me up.
Do you, or do you not want projectile vomiting this week? Just asking for a friend.
And I felt bad that, like, you were embarrassed about, like, I mean, you talked about, like, Rutherford, and it's just like, you don't need to be embarrassed about shit. You're valid as fuck. That's just,
I was embarrassed.
It is what it is.
I feel embarrassed about it. Like, sometimes I kind of do still. You know when I felt it again? Because I got used to talking about it on my stream, but I felt the embarrassment the day of the auction, which is crazy. I hadn't felt embarrassed for being sick in a while, because I got used to talking about it on stream, and I'm like, oh, okay. So when I'm on stream and I talk about stuff, it's begun to feel like I'm at my house, you know? I'm in my house, I'm in my zone. These are people that I know. But it's like, it's different when people are looking at you. At the auction, when I went to talk about my experience, because I had to like do like a little speech and like talk about like CVID and my experience and stuff at Connor's auction. And when I was in the auction, I was in the robot, and there's a camera, and I could see everybody sitting down. And to be able to see people that I know, that are like friends of mine, that I've spoken to, and that I've never had the conversation about how sick I would get, or how I feel, or like the things that I have to go through. I felt so naked, and I felt so scared, and I felt so embarrassed, and it just made me feel very naked. I hadn't had that experience in a long time, since I like started talking about all this stuff to chat. And I just realized it's different when people are looking at you, and the fact that they were looking at me, and I could see them, and I could see them looking at me, and I knew them, and it was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to process. I remember like after I did all that stuff, like the night of the auction, after it was over, like I cried, and I know that I had like a meltdown on stream, and I cried on stream too. It was a lot to process.
Sense. How do you feel about it now?
I think now that I got it over with, and that like I was able to process all that stuff, like now I think I can talk about it fully in front of people that like are looking at me and that I know. It's like a lot of the people there, they just didn't know the extent, because I don't know. I just don't like going into too much detail unless asked, and I usually talk about it like from like a awareness educational standpoint, not to just like talk about like all the shit that you go through just to talk about it, you know? I feel like I could talk about it more now, but it just made me feel really strange. I just don't ever want anybody to feel bad for me. I just want people to see me like a normal person.
Yup, because that's what you fucking are. And everyone in any hospital, like, all the experiences where people were just like, oh, you're not even like less than person, because it's like, oh, you're not mouse, you're sick person. Oh, sick person must be here, can't do anything, too sick to do that. Oh, just
Yeah, it's like I just never want to be the sick person that someone knows, you know? I just want to be me. I don't want people to see me as my illness.
that's not your style, and I think most people don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
Where it's like illness and then person. It's like, you are mouse, this is one aspect of you. It's a huge aspect, but that's not the whole of you. You are so many things. And sick person is not how I would define you. You are
That
mouse.
means a lot to me. Thank you.